yeah, so kind of, I mean, growing up in Texas was great. If you're from Texas, you know, it's the best state there is. It's just one of those things. If you live there, you get it. If you haven't, you're a hater. And so growing up there, that was awesome. And then growing up north was great too. It's a beautiful place up there. And so I have 5 siblings and I have 4 sisters and 1 brother. And I mean, growing up, I think we spent every minute of every day outside barefoot, you know, just embracing our neighborhood and just being the chaotic neighborhood kids that we were. And then I got the opportunity to come down here to Utah Tech and play soccer for the college. And it kind of, my graduation year was the COVID year. And so things were crazy. Coming down here was kind of a nightmare because it was just like a whole first semester of like vigorous sprinting and no games, no soccer. We had to wear masks during training and it was crazy. So, but coming down here, it gave us a lot of time to get to know the outside scene in St. George because we weren't allowed to ever be inside and we were only allowed to do things with our teammates and like nobody else. And so we spent a lot of time in Snow Canyon and a lot of time Sand Hollow, any of the outdoor places. So yeah, that's kind of what brought me down here. And then from there, I just kind of woke up one morning and was like, hey, I have this interior design certification. Maybe I should just kind of dive into that a little bit more. And so I reached out to the previous owner of Interiors by Design. And I originally was just asking for an internship, actually. I was like, hey, is it all right if I dive on back in? And she was like, hey, I'm actually kind of stepping away. I'm getting up there and I want to retire. Do you want to take over? And I was like, well, I think I'm pretty sure I do. And so I went to my dad and I was like, hey, I have this really good opportunity. It's kind of crazy. And he said, if you want to step in the bonfire, let's step in the bonfire. And it has been that, but it's in the best way possible. It's been awesome.
It's baptism by fire.
Yeah, like definitely. Yes.
So you guys are located right next to our safe store. Mm-hmm. So you're just, 3 spots down?
Yeah.
I think.
Yep, I think so.
Same building we're in, right there on Sunset by Taco Bell and all that. Let's talk about that. What's the biggest thing that you weren't expecting that you learned coming into the business? Yeah. Maybe just some lessons that you've taken over. And we can mention you've got a pretty, I in my opinion, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, a pretty decent mentor already built into the business. So talk about some of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm so lucky between Caitlyn, who was the previous owner. She is like, I mean, she has all of the letters next to her name. She has taken so many classes, done so much when it comes to interior design. She really, I mean, when it comes to, she's an encyclopedia for interior design. And so from the get-go, having that resource and learning from her, I spent, you know, just so much time just right next to her, just going through everything she does in a day and committing all of it to memory, like just a human sponge of just knowledge.
Yeah.
And then between her and then my office manager, Melissa, my bases are covered. Melissa is like almost the same as Caitlyn. She's been with Caitlyn for a long time too. So she learned all the ins and outs. So that was probably the best thing coming into this, was knowing that I was still going to have Melissa and I was still going to have Caitlyn. Funny enough, I moved like next door to Caitlyn without even knowing. And so I'm over at her house, you know, grabbing things, asking her questions, saying hey, and just their involvement in this transition has meant the world.
Yeah. So she's still not active in the business, but just available for questions and stuff. I mean, do you still reach out to her?
Yeah. So cool. We're still in contact quite a bit. She kind of had to step away for some health, and you know, it just kind of happens as you get older. And I mean, she's been committed to this for, 40 years. So it's kind of, she was just kind of ready to step away. And so it's been nice for her to have the stress taken off her shoulders, but I'm still involving her quite a bit. And she's finishing up some of her past clients, and we're still kind of working in tandem, which is really nice. Kind of get the best of both worlds where I'm running the show, but I'm also like, hey, Caitlyn, tell me all this stuff because I don't know yet. So.
Well, and then Melissa being there, and she has a huge background of interior design, but even just not running that, but like just being involved in that business has got to be just a godsend to have her there already, right? I could not give her enough credit on here because it's like, same with Caitlyn, but you just get into her background and it's, I mean, the design experience she's had, she was a supplier, like she bought for suppliers. And she just has so much experience with
following trends and giving people what they want and has a total eye for it. Because at the end of the day, you either have an eye for it or you don't. And so having her on board and knowing how everything works, plus also having the design experience, it's almost a mother-daughter relationship right now. And I would not have it any other way.
That's awesome. What do you guys do there? Kind of give me a roundabout, like, what's your target audience? What's your target customer? What's your, your best customer you're looking for, and how do you help them?
Yeah. So, I mean, we kind of do everybody. What we say is like our trend of kind of our customer, stereotype, I guess, if you could say, is pretty much anyone looking to redo a home, build a new home, do some sort of anything in their house that has to do with interior design. So we do everything too. So, off the top of my head, our typical usually falls in the range of ages 50 to 50 plus, just because, that's when people have money. And so you get the occasional, like, I don't know, we've got a few 35-year-olds that are coming in for us to do jobs for them. But we basically will sit you down and get to know you a little bit, get to know your project a little bit, get some basic info, let you get to know us a little bit, and then we'll walk through kind of what you're wanting and kind of establish a vision. And then from there, we'll start diving into more specifics, whether that's, let's say you're redoing your kitchen. We'll go ahead and say, okay, what kind of kitchens are you liking? And well, maybe you made a Pinterest board, right? Because everybody's about that these days. And so we'll see that Pinterest board from you. And then we'll say, okay, so you're liking dark cabinets with light floors and gold accents. And you want a farmhouse sink. And you want your fridge to be hidden, and you want clear story windows on top. And so from there, we'll kind of look at logistic possibilities, especially with things like adding windows. It's kind of like, okay, let's look at the framework of your house and make sure your kitchen's not going to fall on you.
Yeah.
If you do this. And then we'll compile very specific, just specs for the whole project. So we'll say, okay, so you're going to get this dark flooring from this company, and we'll have it shipped to you by this date. It'll be this much square foot. And then we'll say, and cabinets are going to be this much. We'll outsource to this company, and we run it all through us. So our clients don't have to worry about anything as far as, oh, well, do I need to call them and set that up? Or do I need to schedule this? It's no, we've got it. We'll do it for you. And I think that kind of makes it really nice for people, because when you're redoing your house, like that's stressful in and of itself. And you're going to have to live in like and our water's off today. And now we've got all this random, the separations up, and you kind of have to, we have to stay out of the kitchen for a day. You don't need to be worrying about, did that person come do the tile? Or are they doing it right? Did we pick out this right? No. We come in and we handle all of that for you.
So even like the subs and everything that you guys that's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So
yeah.
I mean, I knew you were kind of like one-stop shop as far as like ceiling to flooring, right?
Yeah.
Drapes, everything.
Right.
And so, but that's cool we built the house 2 years ago. And so I'm sitting there going through my head of like, gosh, we were running to like different suppliers and tile and picking up tile at different places every day. And
wow.
And yeah, I mean it's a huge headache.
Yeah.
So to be able to just put that on one, it's kind of like the safe store. We kind of do the same thing. It's like, hey, come in, pick your safe, pick your vault door, tell me who your builder is and what color you want, and we take it over.
Wow.
And then we deliver, we install, when you move in and everything's done, we come back and show you how to work everything, right? So it's kind of like you're taking a lot more off people's hands than we are, but I get it. Like you're trying to relieve that stress from the customer.
Yeah, totally. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So yeah.
So like going through that's probably worth as much money as getting all the design stuff you want, is just having one person take care of it.
Right. And I mean, we've tried really hard, and we keep our prices very competitive with people just as far as design time goes. We're the lowest in St. George, all of Southern Utah. I'm willing to bet, like guarantee, that we're the lowest in Nevada and Arizona too, just because those are high market places and people know that they can overcharge you.
Sure.
So we kept ours low just to really please the client, because it's honestly really fun for us. And I feel like if I were to charge more, I'd be robbing people blind, because it's too much fun. I'm over here like, this is the best day ever. Every day of my life. Time. Yeah.
That's funny. So it's like you're getting a kick out of it too while helping all of them. And so my wife and I, like, we're not very design oriented, right? Like people walk through our house, we have nothing hanging on walls.
Yeah.
We have like the bookshelves next to the fireplace and TV that have some stuff on it, but like nothing crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like we're pretty minimalist when you walk through our house, and people are like, dude, didn't you like put like some art up or something? And yeah, we just did a rental property out by Joshua Tree.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm in like a coaching group, and there's an interior design guy like with the group.
Yeah.
And he was walking me through all this stuff, and he's like, yeah, don't you have this in your house? Don't you? And I'm like, no, dude, we ain't got a thing hanging on walls.
Minimalist. Why would I need that?
Like we just have a long, flat, white wall.
It's perfect. Awesome. You just get to imagine it in your head every day. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's stuff that you would never think about. Like going through, like I had like a Zoom call with them for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And going through all of it, I was just like, dude, I never would have thought of that.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's cool to have that resource right here. I mean, there's a couple other places in St. George, but walking into your guys' showroom, it's really, and like I liked how you said you're getting to know people.
Yeah.
Right? You bring them in, and, you know, maybe you guys aren't the best fit for them, or they aren't the best fit for you, but you guys are getting, it's not just another client, I guess is what I'm saying. It's not just another job. It's a person to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're always going to have like a stamp in their house.
Well, and I think that's one of the most interesting things. Like when I very first came to St. George too, one of my favorite things about it is that it's still small and it still has that hometown charm that I have missed from when I was in Texas. And everyone talks about Southern hospitality, and man, it is real and it is amazing. And I came down here, and I remember I was running on a trail, and I will wave at people, and I'm used to them not really waving back. And it's just like habit, you know, you give a little like, what up when you're running past them, and you're not expecting anything because they've got their headphones in. But I like gave a what up to this old couple, and they like started talking to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, let's talk. And then all the time, you know, you're going places and people will actually wave at you and actually give you the time of day. And so I think that's another positive of our, like the size of our company, is because we only have me and Melissa and, you know, Caitlyn that are doing this. It's just so much more personable. So we take you on as a client, and it's like, hey, you're not just a number or like a name, and then all these random people are tapping in on you. It's like, oh, we know you, we know your family, we know you by name, we're remembering where you live, you know, like in a not creepy way, just by the way, no, we're
she's
just
not peering through the windows,
right? We're just like, we don't, I don't know, but and we'll follow up with you afterwards and be like, hey, or we're friends with you on Instagram and Facebook, and we're like, oh my gosh, so fun that your daughter just graduated college, or it's fun to develop those relationships actually, and it's so much more than just what kind of couch can we help you pick out, you know?
Yeah.